What is the number that you want to live off of every single month?
Most people think financial freedom is about how much you make.
$2 million will pay you $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
You don't want to just be pulling money out of your portfolio whenever you need it, because you're going to go broke real fast.
This conversation isn't about getting rich. It's about building a future that pays you back. Anthony O'Neal sits down with investing expert Courtney Hale to answer one question most people never ask. What's your freedom number?
Get to the point where you stop trading time for money. A lot of people don't know what happens on the other side of that. They don't know that what we're saying is you will now live off of your portfolio. You will have built up your portfolio to a level to where your portfolio will pay you every single year.
Yes. All right, brother, welcome back, man.
Yo, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. It's 2026. All right. So I want to hit from the very beginning. 2026, I believe, is going to be an interesting year for us, right? What would you say is the number one mindset shift for new beginners, people like myself, yourself, all investors that we need to have for this year particularly?
2026 is the year where you're going to own it. And by owning it, I mean, you take control.
Okay.
2025, we spent time learning, getting familiar, having the market prove itself.
Yeah.
Now we believe in it.
Yeah.
We seen things work.
Yeah.
So in 2026, we're going to own it. We're going to have a plan.
Yeah.
Okay. By having a plan, we are going to establish an opportunity list, knowing the companies that we want to invest in.
Yeah.
We are going to create a plan for extra money that we get.
Okay.
We're going to review our retirement accounts.
Ooh.
We're going to understand the ETFs that we need to be investing in.
Yeah.
Right. This is ownership. This is our year to have a plan for what we're doing in the stock market.
Yo, you said something, you said opportunity. Last year, I mean, bro, you gave us so many companies, so many ETFs to follow. Would you say that people should go back and look at those shows and keep some of those companies and keep some of those ETFs as part of some of their opportunities for the year 2026?
Absolutely. That's a great place to start. Anytime you're trying to figure out what to invest in, you need ideas.
Yeah.
Watch some of those shows, write down the top 3 or 5 that you love. And then when you get those dips in the market, you don't have to worry about, what should I be buying right now when the market is dipping? You already have your list. You're ready to execute. Man, I had somebody last night on our community meetup call that we do every Wednesday. She said, Courtney, I went back and watched you and Anthony's episodes from all of 2025.
Come on now.
She counted 29 different investments that we talked about on our shows. And she bought all of them.
She bought all of them?
She bought all of them. She said, now, am I being a little overzealous? I was like, I'm not going to tell you did too much. I'm going to tell you didn't have to buy all 29.
Facts.
But you did, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I like that. So what we're going to do, y'all, for this episode, we're going to link all of the shows that Courtney and I did in the year 2025. And if you really go look at them, all of them, bare minimum, have 60,000 views to far 400,000 views. Because we saw last year that you all really, really wanted to learn not just how do you get out of debt, what I specialize in, but how do you get out of debt and then go to that next level, which is invest. And that's why I bring Courtney on as that investing expert. So we're going to link all those shows, but that's just about 10 shows. What Courtney does is every single week on his platform. So we're going to also link Courtney's YouTube show, his podcast on there. And I think you're going to podcast in 2026 too, right? Are you still doing audio?
We're going audio.
There we go.
2026.
There we go. So we're going to link the YouTube link and an audio link for you all to get that. Because this is the year, like you said, is ownership. This is the year that you get the information and you start owning. We were just talking beforehand, and me and him was talking about something him and his fiance, soon to be wife, this year. He was like, bro, I really don't want to buy certain things, man. If I ain't buying stocks and ownership of stuff, I ain't want to do it. And I think that's important for all of us to have, is what can we build and add in our portfolio? Now, you said something earlier that I think you and I both really learned, benefited from, but I think a lot of people missed out on this in the year 2025. They didn't buy any dip. What would you say, what is one lesson that you would say people learned from 2025 about missing the dip?
The thing that they learned is how it feels to miss out. We had 3 major dips in 2025.
Okay.
The first one happened around early spring.
Yeah.
We got another one late summer, early fall.
Yeah.
And we just got another one that happened around the end of November.
Sure did.
The returns that happened after those dips have been insane. We're going to look back at 2025, and I think the S&P 500 is only going to be up about, I don't say only, it's probably going to be up about 13%.
Money.
Which is a good year. You're above 10%. It's a good year in the S&P 500.
Yeah.
If you bought these dips, you would see returns on those investments, in some instances as much as 70% on big names.
Yeah.
So the thing that people are going to carry into 2026, the thing that they need to learn was like, I missed out. See, what happened, another thing that happened in 2025 is people were interested in the stock market.
Yep.
And so they were following it a little bit more, but still hesitant to get involved.
Facts.
So they kind of stood on the sidelines and watched things take place.
Yeah, yeah.
So you miss spring.
Yep.
You miss fall.
Yep.
You miss winter. And they're like, okay, now this is it.
Yeah.
Now people not going to keep making money and I'm not a part of it.
Facts.
Right? So they're going to remember that feeling. I tell people all the time that are in my classes, like, hey, remember how you felt.
Yeah.
Because the next time you're going to be ready to take action.
Now, stand on that because I agree with you. So in the year 2026, would you agree that we need to buy a dip fund? And if so, for the average person in America who's making anywhere between 48, let's say max $60,000, because it's right around the average income, how much should they have for the buy the dip fund so that way when a dip comes, they can maximize that opportunity?
So this question is how much should I be prepared to invest? And so I'm gonna sit here for a second because there are multiple parts to this.
Okay.
So there are 3 ways that you can figure out how much you need to be investing.
Okay.
Is looking at how much you can afford.
Yep.
How much you need to save versus invest, and then how much you need in terms of working backwards. So, and I know we're going to talk about that in a second. So I'm going to start with the first 2.
Okay.
So how much can you afford? Look at your monthly budget, look at your income, your expenses. How much do you have left over? Of what you have left over, how much can you comfortably put into your brokerage account every single month?
Yes.
Set that up to be a recurring transfer from your checking account into your brokerage account.
Yes.
Do that. Now, when the money transfers into the brokerage account, it's not necessarily buying investments.
Yeah.
It's just in there so the funds are available for you to invest.
Yeah.
There are certain stocks that you need to automatically buy every single month. Okay. But what I will say is about 80 to 85% of the money that's hitting your brokerage account can be invested. Buy those stocks every single month.
Okay.
The other 15% needs to sit there. So it's looking at what you can afford, automatically transferred into the brokerage account. 80% of that money needs to be buying investments. 15% needs to be sitting there so that it's accumulating so that when you get a dip, you can buy the dip. That's the first part.
Okay.
That's the first way.
Okay.
Now, the second way is people need to understand what they need to have saved and what they need to have invested.
That's good.
People be having too much money in their savings account and it's not working for them.
Agreed.
Only thing you need in your savings account is maybe 6 to 8 months of your expenses plus any short-term goals. Anything above that needs to be in the stock market.
Needs to be working for you.
It needs to be working for you. So that difference that's in the stock market needs to go in their brokerage account.
Yeah.
Because you put it into the brokerage account, you don't immediately buy the investments. Okay. That money is sitting there. I tell people when they have a lump sum, take 1/6 of that, right? It's about 6 months. It gives you 6 months to where you can incrementally buy investments. Then if you have a dip after month 3, you have 3 months of money sitting there that you can buy the dip.
Yeah.
So that's the second way that you can calculate how much you need to be investing and set it to buy the dip.
All right, fam, let me keep it real with you for a quick minute here. Most career change programs, they promise you the world, then they leave you hanging. But this QA bootcamp I'm about to tell you about, I'm gonna be real with you up front, it's going to take about 20 weeks of hard work, studying after your day job, pushing through when you want to quit. But this is the fastest, most legit path I found to go from whatever you're making now to $85,000 plus working from home in tech. 100% no coding required. You see, Careerist has over 1,300 graduates now working for companies like Google, Apple, Amazon, and even Disney. Their program is ranked #1 by Course Report. And here's what I love. They don't just train you and leave you. They coach you until you actually get a job. You see, one of my friends, Mike, went from working 90 hours a week, making $63,000 a year, to making $98,000 plus in commission working from home. Sarah, a single mom, went from retail to $95,000 a year as a QA supervisor. These are not special people. They just made a decision to stick to it for 20 weeks, and it changed their life. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that there will be a 25% growth in QA jobs by 2032, and companies are in desperate need of QA professionals because when their system goes down, they lose millions. So if you're tired of being underpaid and you want a recession-proof career that lets you work from anywhere, not just home, but even on the beach, do not wait. Every day you delay is another day someone else is getting the training you need. I want you to visit anthonyoneal.com/QA. Again, that is anthonyoneal.com/QA to sign up today. It's going to change your life. I promise you. What's going on, family? Hey, let's get real for a quick second. If you're watching this show, you're not just here to, I would say, to learn. You're here to own your future. See, 2026 is the year of ownership. We're not just talking about investing. We're making money moves. Remember what we said during the show. The people who win are the ones who have a plan and take action when opportunity knocks, especially, watch this, when the market dips. So here's the truth. Nearly 4 in 10 adults have zero money in the stock market. And the wealthiest 10% now own over 90% of all stocks. That's not by accident. It's because they're taking action, not just watching. If you wait 5 years to start investing, you could be leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. You see, it's not about timing the market. It's about being ready to buy when the opportunity comes. So here's exactly what I need you to do right now. I need you to go to anthonyoneal.com/invest. I've handpicked my top investing platforms from SoFi, Public, Moomoo, and more, so you can compare, open your account, and start investing today. Do not just watch. I need you to take action. Go to anthonyoneal.com/invest, pick your platform, and let's start building wealth and making wealth and blessing our children's children today. I promise you, the future self will thank you. Let's get back to the show. In those first two, 2026, I think a lot of people work jobs that they get bonuses or commission checks, right? And so let's say someone gives like an extra $2,000. How much of that $2,000 would you suggest that they set aside, put inside the brokerage account? And some brokerage account will allow you to let it sit in like in a separate little part of it and get like a 5% of the money just sitting there.
Yeah.
Right. And so let's say they get an extra $1,000 a commission check. Actually, right now, bump that. It's tax return time.
Yeah.
You know, it's Q1. People are getting excited right now, Courtney, because they about to get $2,500, especially with these new laws that Trump got coming out, you know, with tax return right now, with, you know, the standard rate them went back up. I mean, it's crazy. People about to get $5,000. How much of that $5,000 do you think they should put inside of their brokerage account?
Yeah. Any extra money that you receive, whether it's income tax, maybe it's a performance bonus, sales commission. Maybe you get a big insurance check because of something. Maybe you inherit some money, you lose a family member. If you get a big lump sum payment at any time, I want people in their heads right now to say, to make the commitment that you're going to save half of it.
50%.
50%.
Ooh, 50%.
Look, we sat on the sidelines. We've watched. We've done things wrong. Okay. We've spent decades spending all of our money on things that we don't live. You've done the vacation. You've bought the designer shoes. You've made the excuses for yourself that, oh, I never had this before, so because I have this extra money, I'm going to treat myself. You've done it. You've been doing it 15 years.
Facts.
Now, 50% of any extra money that you get, you set it to the side.
So that means if y'all getting a $5,000 refund check because you got 2-3 kids, one of them kids need to be invested.
One of them kids need to be invested.
One of them kids need to know you going to, okay, you going into the brokerage account. Bye. Nah, all jokes aside, but I love that, man. Because it's like we've got to get to the point to where you said earlier, front, you got to have a plan. So we have a plan in January saying, okay, part of the plan is any extra money that I get, 50% of it, Courtney and AO want me to put 50% of that inside of a brokerage account. Here's why I like Courtney's show. Because some of you are saying, well, I don't know what to do inside of the brokerage account. Well, today, we're not going to really get into specifics of that, which is why you need to go to his YouTube show, to his channel, because he specifically shows people and walks you through how to open up the account and even how to invest inside the account. All right. So it will be inside the show notes. The key thing is, the plan is, okay, I'm going to put 50% in. Courtney's going to teach me the strategy on how to invest it the correct way to help the money grow. So I love that. Now, Courtney, you and I talked about this before. One of the things that my financial advisor had me do years ago, and I even seen one of our mutual friends, Morgan, she even talks about this on her podcast. And she said, hey, man, at a young age, she was asked by her financial advisor, what's your number? What is the number that you want to live off of every single month? And she's like, I never thought about that. And when I heard her talk about that, my financial advisor had just asked me that like a couple of months before. And his thing's like, Anthony, what do you want? You know, when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, how much money do you want? Like, and I had to really go back and think and ask myself. So I have this question written down here. What is a simple way to calculate your freedom number? Like, how do we know what that is? What should be inside of it? And how do we really get to that number?
Yeah. So I love this.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So everybody, we tell people, we say, get to the point where you stop trading time for money. A lot of people don't know what happens on the other side of that. They don't know that what we're saying is you will now live off of your portfolio. You will have built up your portfolio to a level to where your portfolio will pay you every single year.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what we're talking about when we say your freedom number. That's why you're free of having to work.
Yeah.
You're free of location. You're free of time. You can be home. You could be in the Caribbean. Okay. You could be in Africa.
Yes, sir. Ghana.
Yes. You are free. That's your freedom number. I tell, so for my older people, I say, this makes you a new member of NWA. Okay. Not that one, but never work again.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Moving in short.
Okay, I like that.
This makes you, now, for my younger people, I tell them, now you can, for my younger people, I say, now you can be never broke again with young boy. So depending on your age, if you don't know young boy, then you a part of NWA.
Right.
All right. So that's the way you can clarify which one you a part of.
Facts.
All right. But this is your freedom number. You have built your portfolio. So how you calculate this, the easiest way to do this is to think about the amount of money you need to live for a year.
Yeah.
What is that? Right? How much money do you need to live comfortably a year? Think about that number first. Then you're going to divide that number by 0.05.
0.05.
Divided by 0.05. So we're going to do a little bit of math to keep it easy. Let's say $100,000. You do a little bit of reflection and you say the amount of money that I need to live comfortably. I'm thinking about maybe not having a car note. I'm thinking about maybe increased healthcare costs at retirement, maybe downgrading a home, potentially maybe moving into a condo. And you say $100,000 is the number. Just as an example, you're going to take $100,000 and you're going to divide it by 0.05. That means that when you do that math, you get $2 million. That means that $2 million will pay you $100,000 a year.
Yes.
So what happens when you stop working, and you live off of your portfolio, you want to systematically receive payments. You don't want to just be pulling money out of your portfolio whenever you need it, because you're going to go broke real fast. Okay. So typically we say that you're going to live off of 4 to 6% of your portfolio every single year. I just took the middle of that. I took 5%.
Okay.
$2 million will pay you $100,000 every single year. So then what you do is you can go to the Anthony O'Neal wealth calculator, and you can figure out how much you need to invest on a monthly basis, earning 8 to 10% a year.
Yes.
To hit $2 million at the point that you want to stop working.
Facts.
So now you have our third way to calculate how much you need to be investing, which is by working backwards.
And you know what I love about this is what you just taught us is that I think the average person, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you're in this investing space, the average person invests so they can pull that money back out. And what you're saying is, no. You're going to invest so you can keep the principal, pass down the principal, but your principal, aka your money, is making you more money to live off of.
Absolutely.
And what I love about that is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're an investing expert. If they follow my philosophy and don't have any consumer debt, maybe just a mortgage, right? But hopefully by that time, mortgage is taken care of. If we're at $100,000 a year, that's $8,300 a month. If we have no debt, just regular bills, right?
That's a nice living.
What? You can have 2 homes. You can go see your grandchildren. You can go on a vacation every other month if you want. Because if you have no bills, your utility bills, your health bills, and your regular bills should be no more than $1,000, $1,500 a month. You shouldn't be spending those $7,500 a month anywhere. And so it was like, for me, I think for some people, if you strategically do it right, that's going to be a pay raise for some people.
It will be a pay raise. That's why we've had to, there's so many people that when I used to be in the industry, we used to talk to people about like your traditional retirement accounts, like your 401ks, your traditional IRAs. We had to change the way that we were teaching people, because we were teaching people to contribute to retirement, and people were doing it. They were setting the money aside. And when you started looking at the math, we're like, oh, wait, the ideal at first was that you would pay less taxes at retirement than you do right now, but you're contributing at such a rate, you're going to actually be making more money. And so that's why we had to start having conversations about Roth IRAs.
Yes,
so
sir.
that money could grow tax free.
Yes, sir. I like that problem though. More money. I love it. Hey, so all right. So now we're talking about, we know our number. One of the key things that I've heard you talk about on your show, when it comes to like particular platforms, when it comes to brokerage forms, is you love automation. And I've been able to automate with my financial advisor to where, honestly, I love it, bro, because sometimes I'd be forgetting that I'm even investing because it's an automation. Why would you say to someone right now who doesn't even have a brokerage account, or they have a brokerage account, but they do not have it on automation, as far as it's automatically buying stocks and invested? Let me ask you this question. Would you say automation is a key ingredient to investing?
Automation is a very key ingredient to investing. Okay. Because y'all, look, people busy. You got to take care of your partner, your kids, work stressing you out. Your brother, your sister needs some help. You want to go see your grandma. You got the thing going on at church. You have all of these things happen. You want to lose weight. Yeah. You want to, make sure you're reading your Bible every night. Yeah. You're going to Bible study. You have a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Take one thing and remove yourself.
Come on.
Just make it do its own thing.
Facts.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, the IRS don't have problems getting most of the money that they need because they take it out of your paycheck automatically. Mm-hmm. The IRS not on your phone waiting for you to pay your bill. It's because it's automated. Mm-hmm. Do what the IRS is doing and automate your investing.
When we talk about automation, it makes me think of like, okay, what are some of the mistakes that I made? And I could talk about all my mistakes, but I'm curious. Last year, you had a lot of new people come into your program as beginners. What were some of the mistakes that you saw them making as a beginner investor that we need to avoid in 2026?
Honestly, the biggest mistake of the people that came into our community, the one thing that I'm really grateful for is that people came in and they were ready to get active. Okay. They opened up their brokerage accounts. They transferred money. The biggest mistake is one was the automation piece, not setting up the automation. The other one is just waiting.
Oh, trying to find a perfect time.
Like trying to find a perfect time, trying to find a perfect investment. Like that's the biggest one that I'm seeing.
Where are we getting that from though? Like where are we getting, okay, you got to find the perfect time to invest?
I think because they have heard what we've been able to do in the community. And there are people, I have a woman who's been in the community for a while now, since the very beginning. She started out with $2,000 and her portfolio is now, it's over $10,000. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I have people who have multi-X their portfolios. And a big reason for that is what we started out with, people buying the dip and believing in it and being consistent.
Yeah.
And other people hear that and they want to start out waiting for the dip.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You actually need to already be investing consistently.
Yeah.
The dip becomes a bonus.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like your income. Well, your monthly salary is coming every month.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get a bonus, well, that's just extra.
Facts.
All right.
Facts.
And so I think so many people are waiting to hit the home run.
Yeah.
And they missed, they missed the objective. Hey, we hit home runs, but our goal is to just hit base hits.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We just want consistency and automation and time are the three most important ingredients for your portfolio. And if you're already invested, you're following, you'll get it.
What's going on, family? Listen, I just saved over $400 on my car insurance in literally 10 minutes. Here's the thing. Most of us are overpaying because we're so loyal to companies that ain't loyal to our wallets. Recently, I partnered with a trusted broker to help my family stop throwing money away by just simply entering in your zip code, answering some few questions, and boom, you have real quotes within real companies within a matter of 60 seconds. No credit checks, none of that spam call. Look, you work hard for your money. Why give more of it away than you have to? I personally used this company back when I was going through my search and it put money back in my pocket. All you have to do is go to anthonyoneal.com/car insurance right now. That's anthonyoneal.com/car insurance. Stop overpaying. Start keeping your money so you can pay off debt and start investing and building your number one asset, which is your wealth. All right? Listen, go to anthonyoneal.com/car insurance and get that quote today. Peace out. Let me ask you this question. You may or may not agree with this one. One of the mistakes that I think I see people make is they'll watch our shows and they will get excited. Oh my gosh, I can make 10%, 20%. So they'll get a brokerage account. They'll join your community. They'll go follow someone else, whatever it is, they'll start investing. But I had a young lady come to me mid last year and she came to me and she was like, hey, yo, man, I bought $15,000 in stocks over the last 6 months. I said, man, that's what's up. Yeah, I just had to pull it out though. I was like, well, why is to pull it out? Car broke down. I had to get a new engine. I had to pull out like $6,000. Here's my question. Well, how come you didn't pull that from your emergency fund? Oh, no, I had all my money invested because I want my money to make money. So I think, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Investing is important, but also having an emergency fund, like we stated earlier, is just as important because now she took money out of the market when that could have stayed in the market to continue to grow if she just would have had an emergency fund. Should people start investing into the market because they see stocks are just booming? They want to get that NVIDIA stock because everyone's talking about NVIDIA and how it's just making all this money, but they don't have $1,000, $2,000 in an emergency fund.
Yeah, you do have to do both, but I will say that you have to have a foundation in terms of an emergency. Most emergencies are going to average about $600 to $700.
Yes, sir.
So I like to tell people, like, get your first $1,000
Okay.
in your high yield savings account in case something comes up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so then what you can do, and we talked about this earlier, when you're trying to calculate what you can afford to invest, okay, look at, make sure that part of those expenses are what you're saving, because you do need to save and invest. Some people like percentages. I would tell people, try to get to a point where you're setting aside 20% of your income. Set it as a goal. You may not be able to afford it right now. Okay. But set it as a goal, but maybe you can't do 20%. Maybe it's 15% for you, or maybe it's even 10% for you.
Yeah.
All right. Of that 10%, some of that goes in savings. Some of that goes in the market.
Yeah.
After you have that first $1,000.
Yeah.
Because like you said, if you only put your money into the market, you're going to have an expense. You're going to have to pull the money out. You're going to lose a future earnings potential. And I'm going to tell you something else.
Yeah.
When that's what they say, when it rains, it pours.
Sure does.
So if you're having an emergency where you need the money, chances are that the market is going to be down as well. So not only are you going to lose the future earning potential, you're going to be pulling money out when the market is down. So you're actually taking it out at a loss.
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be less money than even what you start, because that's just the way things work, right? If one thing is wrong, something else is wrong. And you're getting hit twice.
Yo, that's so good. That's so good. I ain't even thinking about it like that, Courtney, because I haven't pulled money out in a long time. But you're right. That's scary.
The emergency never happen at good time.
Right, yeah.
Emergency isn't going to happen.
Bro, that's...
the market is at all highs. It's going to happen when things is a little rocky.
Oh, that's good. But that's also like, man, I will be crying like crazy. Yeah. So I got to pull money out when I've already lost money?
Yeah.
That hurts you times two.
Hurts you 2 times.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no. Ooh, yeah, no. Listen, one of the things I've been really big on this, like the last, I would say like 2 years. I've always been into my faith, but like, man, I've really dialed into my faith. And I know you and your fiance are big in the faith space as well. I'm curious, how has faith really impacted your walk when it comes to your finances, your investing? I mean, you have a daughter, you and your fiance have kids together. How does the faith and legacy play really impact y'all's decisions?
I mean, we believe that is biblical for us to be good stewards.
Yeah.
So it helps us be less afraid of some of the investments that we make.
Yeah.
That's the making money part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just investing in the stock market. It's investing in, my fiance runs a plant-based feminine hygiene and skincare company.
Yes.
Right. We have big plans for that company.
Yeah.
And so this is so funny. I don't know how she's going to feel about me telling this story.
Don't give me no trouble, man. She here. I don't want her running in here.
We have some big goals for the company for 2026.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
They're scary goals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're preparing. And I had noticed that there was some product that we needed. I was like, oh, if we're going to hit this big goal, we need more of this in order for us to hit that.
Yeah.
And she kind of looked at me and she was like, hey, that's a lot of money. And I told her this story. Maybe you've heard this before.
Okay.
But there's a story. There's a small town and it's a very agriculture town.
Okay.
And it's a drought.
Okay.
And everybody's struggling financially.
Yeah.
And so everybody's going to church as often as they can because they praying for rain. Everybody in the town, they walking to church. They praying for rain. But every day, everybody walks by this one house and it's a man sitting on the porch and he not going to church. And the people kind of looking at him and they not happy that he not going because everybody needs rain so that they can have a harvest. And eventually a woman stops because she fed up. Everybody in the town is going to church praying for rain except for this one man. And she's like, what's wrong with you? You know we need this rain for this harvest, but you sit here and you watch us walk, you watch us pray. why are you not going with us? He said, y'all don't have no faith. She said, what do you mean won't have no faith? We walk in the church, we praying. He was like, yeah, but don't none of y'all have no umbrellas. And so, you know, I tell my fiance, like, hey, we say this is what we expect.
Yeah.
We putting the money out there.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But we believe in what we praying for. We're not going to be them people walking to church without umbrellas.
Yo.
If we praying for rain, we need to have an umbrella.
Yeah.
That's how our faith plays out into how we manage our money.
Your children's children gonna need umbrellas.
Everybody need an umbrella if that's what you praying for. And let me say this one other part, because this is bro. It's fun. We just talked about this. I told her, I was like, hey, you may see some extra money coming out of the account because I just been sending some extra money to the church.
Okay.
And this is whether, you know, we go to church, we don't go to church. Like, hey, this money is coming out.
Right.
This is not only, this is above our tithe.
Mm-hmm.
This is a belief of what we expect. And then there's a part of me that's extremely grateful as well because of how I grew up. And I saw, man, my grandmother and my aunts who didn't always have a lot, but they always did for other people, man. There were always kids that they would bring in or buy school clothes or they would buy them anything that's school supplies. There were families that didn't have anybody, so they would invite them to our house for the holidays. And I'm like, I used to be looking at my grandma and my aunts. I'm like, y'all ain't really got a whole lot yourself. You don't have a whole lot of space to be taking care of other people. But that was their ministry. That's what my family, I come from a family of givers. And it's crazy because I know we've had conversations about some of the things that I do in times that I hadn't charged people or being able to charge more for what I do. And, you know, y'all be talking to me sometimes, you're like, man, you know, like what you're doing is really, really valuable.
Right.
And I just do what I do, but that comes from how I was raised.
God.
And so as we think about, I talk about like how our faith plays a role into how we invest and how we manage our money. Like giving is a part
Yes, sir.
of that as well.
Yes, sir. No, giving is a part of it. It has to be a part of it. I just did a show just solely about tithing and just being generous. And how I believe that is one of the key ingredients to building true and long-lasting wealth and legacy from a Christian perspective, right? Because truth be told, man, you know where I came from before here. I should not be where I am today right now. I could eventually got here, but I believe it's because when I got out, I didn't hoard. I didn't keep all the money to myself. As soon as I got paid, 10% went back to the local church. And I said, God, I don't know how I'm going to build this business. I don't know how I'm going to win. Courtney, I've never even said this publicly. I was prepared to go get a job when I left. I was like, because I'm leaving this huge machine, making a lot of money, making, you know, multiple six figures a year, to stepping out and doing things on my own. So I was going to build this business, but I was prepared to go back and be a youth pastor somewhere, an associate teaching pastor somewhere. I was prepared to get a 9-to-5 job to build what I have to build. But I said, but God, I'm going to give and I'm still going to work. And bro, I didn't have to go back to work at all.
All right. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this. All right.
What we're going to
And so I truly believe that we are put into a place spiritually to where God, I want to say test us and I don't even know if this is, I don't know if this is biblical. Okay. But I think God tests our humility and faith.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
So it's crazy that you tell that story because I got to a place, so my business was doing phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then my business wasn't doing phenomenal. And my business started not doing phenomenal when I had made a big move, when I moved here, actually.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, I don't know what's going on, but you know what? I'm not tripping
Right.
because, you know, I have a degree, I have a master's degree.
Yeah.
You know, I like finance. I can do corporate finance. I can do investing. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I started applying for jobs.
Wow.
Right, man. I hadn't worked for anybody since 2018.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I told my fiance, I said, hey, I'm gonna apply for jobs.
Wow.
You know, I'm gonna look to see what I can find.
Bro.
And then another thing was that I did was I had learned, we had met a woman who ran these like medical, they were doing like medical deliveries, and these are apparently pretty lucrative businesses. And so, you know, we have sons, and we're like, all right, you know, this could be something that maybe we could start doing for our sons. So, man, I actually got to the point, I was like, well, let me see what this is talking about. So I even started doing this, like, it was like delivering medical supplies. Right? I was like, hey, business is a little slow.
Yeah.
I don't mind taking care of my family. I'm going to apply for these jobs.
Facts.
Well, let me tell you what happened. I ain't get no callbacks from the applications. All right. And the medical delivery thing, I'm gonna keep it short, but it didn't work out.
Okay.
It can't be too many bosses in a room. I'll leave it at that. It didn't work out. But man, I literally, I'm not kidding, almost immediately after those things happened. And then this was, I don't know, maybe this went on for a couple months, maybe. Not very, I don't know how long it went on. Immediately after that, my business turned around.
Wow.
And you can't tell me that this just wasn't one of those tests in life.
Yeah.
To where
Yeah.
God is like, let me see how bad you want it. Do you really believe in me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just think that we live in an economy right now that is really, really tricky. There are a lot of things going on. Man, we have pride. People have their education, their degrees. They made lots of money in the past. Anything that you've had in the past is not guaranteed in the future.
Yes.
And, you know, nobody should be afraid of doing what you got to do for your family.
Nah, man.
You know, and there's also a such thing as divine delay. You know, you may feel like, oh, I lost my job. This is the worst thing ever. Or my business is slowing down. Yeah. This is the worst thing ever. That was the thing that happened with me was my business slowed down. There was, we had won a contract. We do a lot of, like government contracts and stuff too.
Yeah.
And there was it wasn't a huge contract, but it was a decent contract. It was money. I cared about it. You know, it was more than six figures. You know what I'm saying? That we had got awarded, and then that city had come back and said that they needed to withdraw the offer.
Damn.
Man, I was devastated because this is the same time where business is kind of slow. And my fiance came to me. This is why you gotta have your good partner.
Yes,
too.
sir. Yes,
That-
sir. Yes, sir.
She was like, don't trip off of that, because there may be a reason to why God don't want you to have that opportunity. That was gonna require me to do a lot of traveling, hire some people. And she was like, there may be a reason why that didn't happen. And so just don't worry about it or whatever. And you know, what ends up happening is, you know, my daughter, we go through the whole bone marrow transplant thing. I actually needed to be home.
Yes,
Can't be traveling
Yes,
back and forth. And then my business picked up all over again. And so
bro.
be faithful to what you believe in.
Yeah.
Never be too prideful
Facts.
to where you're not willing to do something, because even whatever that thing is that you may feel like is beneath you,
Yeah.
it could turn into something even bigger.
Nah.
You know, I was like, hey, I might do this delivery thing and then I'll start my own business,
Right.
and I could hire my kids or whatever.
Facts.
Right. And so I just think that that's really, really important as we go into a new season with as uncertain of an economy as we are. Man, faith has to be a part of what you do, and don't get to the point where you making too much money to where you too good,
Bro.
you know, for something. Cause you never know.
No. Hands down. Thank you for sharing that story, because I think people need to hear that. Here's what I say, people. I think men need to hear that. You was willing to go get a job to support your family. I think a lot of men are not willing to do what they need to do if it makes them feel less than. You ain't worth a job. I was working a dream career, really wasn't a job. But I was like, God, I'm willing to go backwards and still work the vision, but I'm willing to go get a job to make sure that I take care of my home and to make sure that I'm continuing to survive. I was like, hey man, listen, I got an amazing fiance, an amazing family, an amazing daughter. All right, struggle, but that's a part of entrepreneurship, bro. We gonna have another struggling season.
It's
bound to happen, right? And so I believe, man, and that's why I always say, and this is why I believe tithing is so important, because God may not come when you want him, but he gonna come right on time. And I think tithing and giving and just really having that faith component is the key ingredient to building wealth, because I believe that's just our emergency account that we don't really have visibility on. But God is like, you know what, Courtney, you was faithful, bro. When I tried you, you was faithful. When I allowed something to happen, you was faithful, and you ain't quit. I'm wait. Right when you think you about to, boom. And I've seen God do that in my life, in my company's life, even in some of my team members' life, in my family's life. And so, man, we way over time. I told Courtney.
It was that end. We left that end part out. We would have been to the good.
Hey, man, no, man. But I think people need to hear that. I think men need to hear that, because let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? I think when I look at like your fiance and other black ladies, man, they working hard. I think men need to hear, we need to be working just as hard. And we got to let some of our pride and our ego go. And I think men have to get back to being Christ-centered. We're not going to be perfect, but if we could be Christ-centered, listen, and be faithful to one woman out there, get you a wife, listen, that's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother subject. We can't talk about that right now. Okay, we ain't going to talk about that, but we're going to do another males event, Q1. Me and Courtney did one last year. It was amazing. It sold out like crazy. And so we're going to do another males event, and we'll talk about some of that kind of stuff, because I even think, and I'm going to say this, I'm going on mute. This is me saying, this ain't Courtney saying it. I think cheating steals your wealth and steals your potential to build massive wealth, because that's expensive. But anyways, y'all, we're going to put Courtney's information inside of the show notes. We're going to link all of the shows where you can go back and look at all the ETFs, all the stocks that we recommended, and make sure, as always, y'all, let's hit that subscribe button on my show and go over to Courtney's show and hit that subscribe button. Join both communities. We're going to help you get out of debt, help you build that vision. Courtney's going to help you come up with a strategy to invest even at a deeper level. We talk about that here at the surface level. Courtney goes depth. All right. And so you rock with us too, man. Your financial future is going to change. All right. And then I'm going to give his fiance some love. He talked about that skincare. I use that skincare company the entire year of 2025. I love it. I love it so much that I'm actually on the she sent it to me automatically every month. I just pay it every single month.
She said, Anthony is set up on
automation
on the subscription. I was like, Anthony not playing.
I ain't playing.
And look, it's Herlistic. Let's shop herlistic.com.
Bro, we're going to put that in the show notes. We're going to put it in the show notes. Shop herlistic.com. Man, it says Herlistic. Now, I did challenge my sister. Like, hey, I feel a little uncomfortable sometimes when I get the Herlistic bag in my mailbox. But the skin is amazing. And because I'm on a subscription, man, listen, man, I'm going to put it out there. She sent me some wipes, boy. We got to be clean down there, brothers. Anyways, yo, we'll see y'all in the next show. Peace out, man.